Hello and welcome back to episode 32 of my AllTheMods10 SSP playthrough. In this episode, we will start to look into automating the alloyed ingots to make the AllTheModium gear. A couple of things to note, though, since the last episode. The first one is I do want to note how much power the Piglet data model costs. It costs over 16,000 FE per tick. So again, this isn't really for the faint of heart. I have double checked our power. It looks like we are sufficing for now. Looks like everything's keeping up with just this one reactor, but we might look into, again, this is only spirited, it's not the Nitro tier, so we might look into upgrading this to Nitro tier, as well as maybe making some more reactors here shortly. The other thing I do want to note is that with the bees, I went ahead and made the Omega upgrade for the AllTheModium, Vibranium, Unobtainium, as well as for the Stellarite bee. We'll probably be moving this Omega upgrade for the Stellarite bee because we don't really need too many, but wanted to at least get a slight surplus of Stellarite for the time being. So first things first, I want to automate the Vibranium AllTheModium alloy ingot. Since that one's from Powah, we have a pretty decent setup already for this. It's just going to require these items inside of this energizing orb. So we'll go ahead and put the crafting recipe here, and let's go ahead and try to request one. I should be able to make at least one. I think it does require a decent amount of power. Yeah, 1 billion FE. And yeah, we're going slowly, so we might need more of these guys, or at least maybe better power. Well, they're all spirited, so I don't know roughly how to fix that. Maybe just adding a couple more of the energizing rods. But we'll let that run for a little while, see how our power's doing. And oh yeah, she is draining and draining fast. So once we hit about 70 or get under 70, we should start seeing this. It should be on currently. Yeah, it is on, and we are still losing power. So yeah, definitely going to be looking to upgrade our power shortly. And it looks like we now have the alloy ingot here. Perfect. Let me go ahead and add this one as well to the item filter so we can just start requesting multiple of them. But so what I am going to do is I am currently crafting up a Nitro reactor, and it's actually just about done here. Perfect. Then I'm going to craft up some cables, and I'm going to, once this is done, grab all of these energizing rods and just make all Nitro tier energy upgrades. And with that, we now have Nitro tier for the energizing orb. Perfect. I also got the 36 Nitro reactor casings, and we can go ahead and place this guy down here. I'm going to go ahead and get an export bus with some acceleration cards placed underneath of here. And we are going to need the redstone blocks, the blocks of coal, the ice, and then the uranites. And now we also have the nitro ender cells. So I'm just going to leave this as spirited for now. We should have way more than enough power to meet our current needs. So I am going to collect these quest rewards, and I am anticipating that we will get, and I'm hoping not at this point, but an energizing rod, because we have made all 9 now officially. So no, we did not. That is perfect. I was thinking the game was going to play some cruel joke on me and give me all of the energizing rods only after we have made all 9. So with that, though, with now technically the Vibranium AllTheModium alloy ingot is auto-craftable, it is automatable. We are the one, well, there's a lot of limiting factors. The main one being the Nether Star, and then the other being the Piglet Heart, which is just why I do want to let this run until it is self-aware, so that we can just get as many Piglet Hearts as possible. So the next thing that we're going to want to automate, and this is for the Unobtainium Vibranium alloy ingot. That's the one we're going to do next with Industrial Foregoing. So we already have the infrastructure for these two mods kind of already set up, so they're relatively easy. But we're going to go ahead and set that recipe. The main thing that we're going to need is the pink slime. So this is literally just a glass pane, some pink slime, but it does require some water here. Or it might be output. I thought it required water. Let me actually test that first. If we take the glass panes over to here, I thought we needed water in here. We might need to, yes, yeah, okay. Now that makes sense. It will export water, so we need to get a fluid trash can. And we'll set that guy up right under here. And what I think I'm going to do is I want to double check, because it is going to be on the Ender fluid conduit channel. So this is the item pipe channel. We are exporting on blue for the item pipe channel, but I don't believe, I think this one's pink and this one's green or brown. Yes. Okay. So we are going to tell this guy to then extract on blue. So we're going to insert this guy on blue, and now the water from in here should be push. Did I set it to always active? Extract, always active. Yeah, for some reason this is just always, this is voiding the pink slime. Maybe if I put a filter on this and whitelist water. Yes, that did work. So I just did a little whitelist filter on this fluid trash can for a water bucket because I couldn't drag the actual water into it, and that seems to have worked. I think it was prioritizing the fluid inside of the dissolution chamber rather than the output fluid. But so as you can see here, the pink slime is currently going up. It's not being voided anymore, so perfect. We can now make the card for the pink slime without having to worry about the water itself. And if we go ahead and test this out, I'll request one more, and yep, looks like that went through. Everything is good to go for this. So at this point, we have everything we need for the Unobtainium Vibranium Alloy Ingot besides for the Soul Lava. So we are going to need another dissolution chamber filled with Soul Lava specifically. And in order to get that, Soul Lava is coming from the other. So we are going to need to do a little bit more exploring, but we can make, well, you guessed it, a bee. And with a bucket of soul lava, we can convert a ghostly bee into a soul lava bee. So again, probably will be setting up another, ME fluid storage cell for that guy. We might need to look into expanding our we just expanded our storage system as well, either making these drives extended, or I might like to make a separate channel and have like a crap ton of ME drives with a ton of item storage cells. So we'll see. So if my memory serves me correctly, and I think it does, Soul Lava only spawns in the ancient basalt delta biome. So I am going to take a peek down here because it was about like 2,000 blocks away from our spawn. We do have to go pretty far down as well. And yep, I just saw some. Looks like, yeah, some soul lava over there. Awesome. So yeah, they only spawn in it only spawns in the ancient delta biome. So you might have to venture out that way in order to get some. But now that we do, and I'm gonna put the rest of this stuff away. I also don't think I mentioned before, but AllTheModium can spawn in the other. It is another way to get it. So after you get your first ingot, if you want to come in here and explore to get it, that is fine. I typically don't because there's a lot of other better ways to get it. So I'm going to get, I don't know, like 10 buckets. I think 10 buckets is good for now because these require soul lava to pollinate. We need 5 of them, so that's going to be 6 buckets, and then 4 buckets for good luck. So we don't really need too many, which is great because we're going to mass produce it. But so I'm not seeing, I think we got not necessarily lucky there, but the ancient basalt deltas and the ancient crimson forest biomes. Yeah, because we're technically in ancient crimson forest right now. Typically, they are like massive caverns, massive open caverns. I might try to find one here real quick just so I can show you. But they're pretty cool biomes, just very vast and open. Usually, well, always found in the like deep slate tier. So I'm gonna go exploring for some. You can see on the map here, there's like some over this way, but I don't know what Y level it's at. Ah, here we go. Yeah, so just like these little caverns with the soul lava kind of in the cracks of each. So there's a decent amount in these biomes. You just have to find these biomes first. And with all 5 ghostly bees made now, we can convert these guys, again, all into soul lava bees. And I will do that real quick here. And just like with the oily bees, all that we have to do is put this soul lava bucket down here. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, it won't slip past these half slabs here. Awesome. Let's go ahead and get another item conduits here. And we can start to set this guy to extract after we get some of the combs. So I actually am going to need to tackle the storage issue sooner rather than later. So at least as a temporary fix, I made a couple of extended drives. And these can just basically hold a little bit more than what these guys can, a little bit more storage cells. So let me also go ahead and get, I believe it can hold, yeah, double. I was going to say 10 per like row, but just want to be sure. So we're going to get like 20 extra storage drives here. And we are just going to replace it. I wonder, can we? Yeah, we can make the upgrade. So if you take any of your extended stuff, so like for the extended pattern provider, as well as for the extended AE drive, if you take just any type of ingot, I'm just going to take 10 because we have the most of it. You can turn these into upgrades. So I don't have to remove everything and replace it. I can just shift click and yeah, it's going to be able to hold more. So if we go ahead and get the drives that we made, or no, storage cells, that's what they're called. And let's grab all of them and put all of those in here and all these in here. Perfect. And we're going to, I think, yeah, I want these removed to here. Awesome. So now we can hold essentially double what we did before. The reason why I, don't really want to mess around with too many things because we're at 7 of 8 channels currently. So I guess we could put like one more drive attached to this. Like we don't have to have the cell workbench here. We could have it, up in the corner here. But I am going to make a lot more drives and extended drives eventually on a separate channel anyways. So this is just to hold us off for, at least a little while here. But if we come over here, I will go ahead and set up this dissolution chamber. I don't want, anything connected to it right now. We are probably going to need power what am I typing? Conduit. There we go. I am going to need some power to be put into here, as well as, the item conduits. I always forget about that, but the item conduits to go back up into here on a separate channel. So what channel should we use? I think purple for this, or insert on purple, don't extract. And then this one will be extract on purple. Perfect. So then let me see, what do we need to do next? Yes, I need to get this guy set up with his storage drawer and start processing those. I also need the fluid drive, and I'm going to, I've already made one, I'm going to configure this for the soul lava specifically. And again, remember for the soul lava combs, we are going to want to put it in our separate powered centrifuge over here, the one that does not have a bottler. So go ahead and look. Perfect. We already almost have a bucket of the soul lava. And what we can do from there, and I might need, because I think we are currently out of, 8 of 8 channels, so I might need to branch out this P2P, but essentially with this guy, and I might remove everything that I did here and get this one more out just so it's separated. But with this guy, we are going to, do the auto crafting recipes, but we're also going to tell it to import the soul lava from our system into here. And with that all connected, I basically just drug out the, right behind our current P2P tunnel for Industrial Foregoing, and I just dragged it out and around over here, made it a little bit closer to the actual point itself. But with that, that should be active. And yes, this is filling up with soul lava now. Perfect. And I am just going to give it a little bit of a boost here for the time being. Let me see. Yes, perfect. Now we do have the soul lava. And now from the looks of it, we can now automate and craft up the Unobtainium vibranium alloy ingots. So let's give it a little go here. Let's just make one for now. That is so true. We are going to need the speed and efficiency upgrades. So at industrial, what are they called? Add-ons. They're not called upgrades or anything. They're called add-ons. So speed tier 3, efficiency tier 3, and boom. It looks like now we have completed the Unobtainium vibranium alloy ingot. Perfect. So the next ingot on our list to get to is the Unobtainium AllTheModium alloy ingot. This one, however, does require for us to finally get into Ars Nouveau. So we will be getting into this shortly, but first we will be just kind of following the quest log here, if I can find it. Yeah, Ars Nouveau. So we definitely, I think spellbooks are fun. I will show and kind of explain the spell books, all that good stuff. I'll explain the mod for those of you who don't know. But we're basically just going to be jumping straight to, Ars kind of endgame-ish. So looking forward to that. But looks like we have the Tattered Tome. Looks like we are going to need our first spell book. So in order to get the spell book, you're just going to need some iron tools and a book. So you can get this pretty early on in your playthrough. From this, we can get the Mage's Spellbook, so we can cast tier 2 glyphs or lower. And this is a little bit more, advanced. You're going to need blaze rods, diamonds, blocks of quartz, obsidian. But, I mean, honestly, if we went the Ars Nouveau route, we could have gotten this in, like, the second, maybe third episode. Now, if we're following the questline, the Archmage Spellbook, this will allow you to cast tier 3 glyphs or lower. This requires the Wilden Tribute, and it's gained by defeating the Wilden Chimera, which is a quest. We have everything else besides for this, so we are going to get to that eventually, not at this time though. The next thing in the quest is for archwood logs. You'll find these trees randomly just throughout your world. They spawn more frequently in certain biomes than others, but they can be found in the overworld, and yeah, they're useful. Not needed, but they're pretty, and they look cool. So the next thing, and we actually already got this, the Scribe's Table. This table will allow you to create and cast better spells. So if I go ahead and place it down here, basically it doesn't have a UI, but this is what's going to allow you to create all of your glyphs. So for example, the tier 1, and I'm about sick and tired of all these mobs. I need to get some light sources out here. But for the tier 1 glyphs, let's say Glyph of Launch. This allows you to launch yourself, or you can launch other people. I'll show you how it works. But you can basically create it by 3 rabbit hide and an air essence, and all you'd have to do is throw those items on the table. So we will be making glyphs eventually. Not at this time, again, just wanting to kind of run through the quest log. But how we found these scribes tables, so there will be structures that look like this. These are generating from Ars Nouveau. They will have a warp nexus in the middle. But if we go inside, and this one actually has it, which is surprising. So I think it's like a 1 in 5 chance for it to actually have it, but not all of these structures will have this inside. But if we go in here, some of them will have this little like mage room, the starter mage room in the middle here. It'll have an alternation table, it'll have the scribe table, it's gonna have like, you know, maybe some source jars. It's also gonna have a lot of these codex entries, and these are going to be a super quick and easy way to get glyphs. So we unlocked a filter item, filter not summoned, filter dark. We're unlocking a lot of the filters, which is unfortunate, but we unlocked rotate, which is nice, and then filter animal. So again, just kind of getting a lot of the basic filters out of the way pretty easily, so you don't have to make all of them, which is, again, super nice, super helpful. There's also some like mage robes in here, lets you have some extra mana, all of that good stuff. But so when exploring, I found one of these in here. Again, if you are small and you just look through the wall, you'll be able to see the opening, the little cavern, without having to actually dig in. There are also some other structures. It's like a archway or portal way. It's from Ars. I'm not seeing any on the mini-map right now, but if I ever come across it again, I'll try and show you. But yeah, they have a little archway with some source stone. They usually have a chest by it, also with those codex entries. So again, if you're out exploring, a really nice, easy, simple way to get a lot of those glyphs kind of done. So for the Mage's Spellbook, or for the Spellbook, I can press V to quick select or press C to quick craft. So if I press C on here, we can see currently all of the different tier 1 glyphs that we have access to. There are also there are multiple different forms, but we have 3 right now: projectile, self, and touch. So they're pretty self-explanatory. Projectile, you shoot out whatever you're casting. Self, it's cast on yourself, and touch, it's whatever you touch. So if we project break, and we can also name it, so we can just name it break and then press create. This will be in our 1 slot. So as we get more and more spells, we can hold up to 10 in this one. And if we right click the dirt block, for example, it will do again, form of projectile, and it will break the block that it is looking at. If we come in and touch break and create that, it's no longer a projectile, but if we right click on what we touch, it will break that. So just different ways. There's a bunch of different ways to like actually make the spells. We'll be getting a little bit into it and making some of the glyphs, not all of them. I'm not too keen on, this. We can also search runes or glyphs up as well. And I don't particularly use the filters either. I'm sure they're useful for people that are proficient in Ars, but I tend to just, make a couple of spells that are fun and go from there. So there are a couple of glyphs I do want to go ahead and make. So the first one is going to be Amplify. It does what it says. It just amplifies the spell that is being cast, and that is just with a diamond pickaxe. So if we right click with our spellbook here, we'll actually open up a UI, and we can search for all the glyphs. We can see all that the ones that we have are highlighted, the ones that we don't have are grayed out. And if we search up Mage Light, we have Mage Block, we do not have Mage Light. And so we just click on that and select, and then we can throw in the lantern and the torch, and it will go ahead and create the glyph for us. And now that we have it, all we have to do is just right click, and you can see in the bottom left, we can now do Conjure Mage Light. So I am going to do the exact same thing with the Amplify. Just go ahead and select that and throw in the diamond pickaxe, let that craft up, and boom, now we have learned that. And so now we can see from here, we can do, we can get rid of these, and we're going to do we're just going to name this torch for now. We're going to do projectile And looks like we can't amplify this, but conjure, mage light. Okay, now we can amplify it. We do have to have the effect before we can amplify. And if we right click now, we can see if we take my night vision goggles off and come like over here. If we right click, it'll light up the area, which is perfect. We can just left click to break these. I forget if they stay there, if the chunks are unloaded or not. Honestly forget, but it is nice to have at least, especially if you're early game out exploring. We are later down the line going to make also the glyph of lightning. We do need air essence though, which is going to be, we are also going to need an imbuement chamber for it. So we will get to that probably in the next episode. But I think that's about all that we had time for this episode. Looking forward to, in the next episode, again, going more down the line with Ars Nouveau and getting and automating the Unobtainium AllTheModium alloy ingot. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you all in the next one.